The transition from school and college life to work life is just annoyingly difficult. Like until yesterday, I was in a glass of water, and now all of a sudden, I'm in a freaking ocean. And I don't know what to do at all. You know how in schools we take semester by semester and we go year after year, and overall there's some kind of structure of where we are supposed to spend our time, how we are supposed to spend our time. You know, we have yearly exams, we have midterm exams, we even had weekly exams. Those things are definite. Those exams are going to be conducted irrespective of me preparing for it or not. We know that that is exactly where we are going to be 6 months from now. But the moment you get out of schools and colleges, you are given this massive chunk of time without any specific things to do. You can do whatever whenever you want, and to add up to that, there's no right or wrong thing to do, which just makes it even harder to choose what to do in the first place. There is literally nowhere to be 6 months from now. There are no goals to accomplish. Even the ones that society have set, like getting married or buying your own house, even those are completely up to you. You can live your life without them as well. Up to you. It's okay. One, they're not real goals, and two, even if we consider them as real goals, there is no time frame in which we have to achieve these goals. So technically, there are no goals to achieve unless you set them yourself and you really stick to them. There are no compulsory things to do. You're not going to be graded after the year ends. All of this is supposed to be a good thing, right? Finally, you're getting a chance to take control of your life and do whatever you want. And these are like very basic things which we all know about, right? But when we are in schools, we just don't think about it. I never really thought about this way. And thus now that I'm suddenly thrown into this, I just feel overwhelmed with the amount of small decisions that I have to make throughout the day. I have to decide for myself where I want to be 6 months from now.
No, I've been moving too fast.
The other thing that bothers me is not knowing how to measure my life, because it's me who has to set the criteria now and also grade myself. I don't know how to get an A in life. We all are expected to become successful, but then what is success, or what is enough success? Is it just about earning money? But then how much money would actually be enough for you to consider me successful? And no matter how much money I earn, wouldn't I always be a relative poor? Because there will always be a space to earn more. And it's not just with money, it's with things like fame, knowledge, etc. So obviously becoming successful cannot be the only criteria. So how do I actually live a fulfilled life, especially when there is always something or the other that I'm missing out on? We live in the world of social media, and that never fails to make us realize that we are not good enough, we are missing out on something. Thus, you cannot be happy enough, not yet, not just yet. You know, you don't have that fancy big car, or you don't look like that. There is always going to be something that we don't have, making us realize that, you know, we don't deserve the complete happiness. And the thing about happiness is that if we only wanted to be happy, that would be easy. But we want to be happier than other people, which is almost always difficult because we think of them as happier than they actually are.
Father, can you slow me down, me down, me down? Slow me down, me down, me down. Slow me down, me down, me down.
Most of the adults do the same things, go to the same places, meet the same people, and even talk about the same things. Most of them live a very mundane and monotonous life. And when they finally make it to the weekend, all they want to do is Netflix and chill, bro. As an adult, life starts feeling like a circular loop, and we tend to forget that it is a straight line. I have seen very few adults wanting to do new things, or take up new hobbies, learn new skills. They strive for a comfortable lifestyle. So obviously, finding a balance is a challenge in itself, you know, balancing the routine and consistency, and also seeking new experiences. But as a 20-something, I don't know how to do either of these things. I'm stuck between wanting to do new things, but then not starting anywhere.
Slow me down, me down, me down low. I'm not gonna escape from your love. nothing can replace.
Well, as you grow, you kind of have your own family. Let's just not talk about that. The thought itself is just giving me so much of anxiety. Let's not talk about that. Let's rather talk about friends. Even they start settling down again, having their own families. God. But more importantly, we move to different places. We start wanting different things from life, and slowly we just start seeing our friends less often. We text them occasionally here and there on their birthdays or on holidays, and maybe this is how it's supposed to be, to spend different phases of your life with different people. All these people whom we cannot imagine our lives without, they just slowly start to fade away. And that's okay, I understand. But at the same time, saying goodbyes and realizing that it's not going to be the kind of forever that we have always talked about, that we had always promised.
Replacing me, you got me in your arms. Resting in you, girl. Resting in your heart. I'm resting in you, girl. I'm resting.
Taking with, going on adventures, partying all night, falling in love, hanging out with strangers, they all sound so fun, but from afar. It's not long until you realize that that was just one side to being in your 20s, that there's this whole other side which is less talked about, where you are wrong, where you are inexperienced, where you don't know what you're doing with your life, and you're just a naive child in this adult world. Don't we just love getting into trouble?